Well, hello and welcome to our live coverage of the Women's European Handball Championships, jointly hosted by Hungary and Croatia. Paul Bray here with you for this match between Germany and France. There are the results of the early game. Montenegro beat the Netherlands 31-27. Sweden, as expected, comfortably beat Slovakia, and it means Sweden currently top of the table ahead of Montenegro. The Netherlands third on 5 points. France are on 4 points and hoping to move up the table after today's match. Germany and Slovakia, they're on 0 points. Their chances of a semi-final place are all gone, but the other 4 teams all still in with a shout. Here we are, Germany arriving. They may no longer be able to make it through to the semi-final, but they have a chance to spoil it for France. Katja Schulke there coming in, and here come the French team. Aiglon heading the way in for the team. Dembele, so disappointed the other day. So the team now being introduced. So it's Germany first. Well, they started the tournament with 26-19 defeat to the Netherlands, which immediately put them on the back foot, but they recovered well with the welcome return of the injured right back Müller to beat Croatia 26-24, in the process booking their place in the main round and knocking out Croatia tournament. But Müller's return was short-lived. An injury struck again, I'm afraid, and her exit heralded another defeat to Sweden. And so they qualified to the main round with 0 points, and a defeat to Montenegro on Sunday means they can now, as I said, no longer make it through to the semi-final. There is the coach, Heine Jensen. They could, though, still spoil France's party. They arrived here, of course, not only without Suzanne Müller at right back, but also Klein. Very bad luck just in the lead up to the competition, losing both their left-handed right backs, same as happened 2 years ago, carbon copy. And it has forced them to reshuffle things, and they've never quite got their rhythm at the back. So France are now being introduced. They started with a laboured 21-18 win over Slovakia before giving Serbia a 27-16 drubbing, including 3 goals, restricting them to 3 goals in the first half. And they then beat the defending champions Montenegro 24-20 to come through to the main round with maximum points. But the euphoria was short-lived, as a 29 or lackluster performance saw them succumb 29-26 to the impressive Swedes, leaving them needing to win both the remaining games to go through to the semi-final. Well, their scoring rate took a hammering against the Swedes. It dropped to 54%. Below Germany, but they still remain the best defence in the main round. They came out here, though, without right wingers Dansette and De Rouen, and the goalkeeper Darleux, all 3 injured, while Pinot, the playmaker, and the other goalkeeper Galeno are themselves only just recovered from injury. We saw briefly Alain Porte, coach of the French team, and the referees for today are from Denmark, Anders Birch and Dennis Stenrand. So a match full of consequence for France, maybe less so for Germany, although they want to make a point here today. And so we have the national anthems first. We have the small matter of the introduction of all the officials. I think the matter is now done, and so it'll be the anthem of Germany first. Well, a small band of German supporters have made the trip out here to Zagreb And now the anthem of France. Focus looking à l'importe. So these teams have played each other in official competition seven times, Germany winning 4 and France 3. Last meeting was in a friendly tournament in Denmark, Germany winning 26-20. The last time they met, though, in a European competition, it was a French win at Euro 2006 in Sweden in the bronze medal playoff, France winning 29-25. So let's have a look at the team, starting with Germany, with players to look out for. Right winger Svenja Huber has been on very good form. Nat Gornaya and Naidzinovic also. And after a bright start, the goalkeepers Schulke and Woltering are languishing near the bottom of the rankings, I'm afraid, on 29%, but have nevertheless both had MVP awards so far in this competition, and quite deservedly so, because they played exceptionally well in those matches and are quite capable of suddenly turning on the charm. There is Minerskaya, number 14, the 22-year-old, who's scored 13 goals, a 54% success rate here, 7 of those penalties. And the goalkeeper, Klara Woltering, captain of the team, the 31-year-old, he plays for Budućnost in Montenegro, who has a 29% save rate, as I mentioned earlier. For France, well, look out for right back Lacrabert. She's been on great form, as is left winger Dembele. Playmaker Pinot and Nyombla have blown hot and cold, in fairness, during this competition, and they'll need to find their form here today if France are going to succeed against Germany. There is Lacrabert, number 64. The 27-year-old has scored 27 tournaments, appropriately, 56% success rate, 8 from 8 penalties, has been on great form, and that is Amandine Leno, number 12, the goalkeeper, a 35% save rate, only just recovered from injury. Very experienced though, with 143 caps. So for France, well, they need to win here today to keep control of their fate. Heine Jensen, though, may have other plans, but for Alain Porte, that is the message to the team after losing their opening main round match to Sweden. If they win today, they are still in control. If they lose today, they can actually still go through, but their fate is out of their hand. They would need a Swedish win, and then they would have to beat the Netherlands. So Lacrabert and her teammates get ready to start playing. They've won the toss and decided to play left to right, which is good news, because they tend to do that always when they win the toss. They can swap Lacrabert out of attack and put Aiglon into defence. And we have been told by Alain Porte that he is going to turn the bench right from the start today. It's been hard on his starting 7, that he's played quite a lot. The Slovakians who've just played their match, losing 22-31 to Sweden, have come out to watch a bit of action in this one. So expect to see Cissé and Nzeminko making an appearance for France early on. Schulke will start in goal, meanwhile, for Germany. 30-year-old who plays for Leipzig, while for France, a change. Attingray has been brought into the team in place of Laura Gloseur. Both relative newcomers to the French team. So it's France in the blue shirts who get the match underway, playing left to right. Germany in the traditional white shirts and black shorts. Customary handshakes out of the way. And now down to business. France, a must-win match to keep control of their destiny. No goal. Whistle's already gone. They'll come back for a free throw. Well, a few club teammates here today. Anja Althaus, the line player for Germany, number 20. Plays in Macedonia. has her teammates Dembele and Leno from France on the other side. So second line player's gone in for France. Lacrabert looking for the line, but the line player was being pulled all the way across. Siraba Dembele, who's actually the winger who'd come around, and as Lacrabert tried to find her, she went backwards. So it's Nyombla who started in attack for France, number 29, and a yellow card immediately for Nadgornaya. So Nyombla says move back a bit, get more width. Good save by Schulke, and Germany come away. Oh, good save, couldn't keep it out. First action for Armel Attingre, 25-year-old keeper. Got to it, but then couldn't recover it. And an early goal for Anne Müller, who tends to be used predominantly in defense for Germany. In case you're wondering, not to be confused with Susanne Müller, the right back, of course, who came in briefly against Croatia, but then had a recurrence of an injury and had to go straight back out again. Inside the area, that won't count. 2 minutes played, Germany lead 1-0. Determined to make a point here, the Germans. Was that an attacking foul? Shot is completely skied there. Taken by Naidzinavicius, the 23-year-old who plays for Bayer Leverkusen, France, staying focused. And into the centre goes Camille Aiglon in the defence. Veteran of 158 internationals. It's a fourth European. She's swapping with Lacrabert. Here she comes. She puts it right up. Drops back a bit. Nice movement by the French defence, but it's open the wing. 2-0. Geschke, the only left winger in the German team. German bench celebrate. And 3 minutes in, the French struggling, as they did in their opening main round match against Sweden, to get into this game. So once more Dembele comes around onto the line. And Lacrabert puts it wide. Schulke sees a long pass. Well, helpfully put into the hands of Geschke. And it's 3-0. And a terrible start by France. .78 kilometers an hour. And France do need to be careful. They came through looking really formidable with 3 wins in the preliminary stages against Slovakia, Serbia and Montenegro, the defending champions, and then slipped up against Sweden in a really lackluster second half. And there is a habit that they do all the hard work and then blow it. And that long-range shooting that's totally unnecessary has given Geschke a third goal inside 4 minutes, and France reeling already here in the Arena Zagreb in the Croatian capital. Pino. Well, the opportunities for Alain Porte to turn the bench may be diminishing now, as he's going to need his experience, but great defending by Germany. They're giving the Germans, the French rather, not a lot of space, but eventually, after nearly 5 minutes of play, ball passed out to the outside, and Pino gets them off the mark. Porte still not looking too anxious. It's early days, but he will be worried that the French are struggling so much with the German defence. Müller, who is staying on in attack for the time being. And you take nothing away from her. The line player for Germany has scored 217 goals in 161 appearances. Although not as much as Althaus. Löper Shot down the middle and saved by Attingret. But it won't count. There she is. No saves from 4 so far for the French keeper who just joined the squad yesterday to replace Gloser. Not sure whether it's just a fitness issue. And the ball eventually is stolen but comes off the feet, say the referees. Verbold and Löper playing at centre and right back, both playmakers. It's a tactic that Heine Jensen in the picture now has used before when he needs a bit of pace and the players running. And defending inside the area, and it's going to be a yellow card for Camille Yeglon, the Nîmes defender, as she shoves Anne Muller. And so Attingret will face a penalty to be taken by Marlene Zapf. And no problem there. So first goal of the game for Zapf. She's had 6 from 7 otherwise during the tournament. In fact, was MVP against Montenegro. Oh, well, she got a push, and the Germans felt that was after the fact, but that's the way it's gone. Njombla, player, he got a little bit of a helping hand from the Danish referees on that occasion. The line player's nowhere near where she was trying to pass the ball. Lacrabert, Pinot, back again, Lacrabert. Njombla tries to go into the wing. There's a bit of space now. That's more like it. Dembele. Not a great shot this time. And it's the first save of the game for Attingret. Dembele. Oh, off the post, and it stays out. And luck is not smiling on France as Pinot sees her effort come back out again. Germans are still pushing though. They've got a big angle, and it's another good save by Attingret, who's getting into it. Dembele is going to try again. Nothing given. She looks to the referee. Well, she would have done so much better to pull up. Here's the save again though by Attingret. And at the other end, Pinot, well, it got a touch on Schulke, counts as a save. Well, in fact, she did eventually get the free throw. Maybe those pleading eyes did it. Ganto is on the line. Oh, penalty. Bit of a push. Njombla still down, the 24-year-old who plays for Fleury. Team who currently leading the French championship. And they've got Naya, the player at fault. So Lacrabert. Oh, terrible penalty. Straight into the hands of Katja Schulke. Third save for Schulke. He plays for Leipzig. So 9 minutes played, and it's 5-2 to Germany. Camille Yeglon pushes out suddenly. They've got to watch it because Muller is getting free all the time at the back on the line. Into the wing. Nicely played. They're so quick at moving the ball out. They suck the French defence in. And then Geschke gets it on the wing. Her 4th goal already in the game. Celebration time for the 29-year-old from Oldenburg. Played for a while at Kristiansand in Norway. But now 3rd top scorer in the German Bundesliga. Lacrabert. Oh, good save by Schulke. What a game she's having. Quick pass out. Muller did brilliantly well to take that one-handed, but Attingret matches Schulke with a save at the other end. goalkeeper's game at the moment. That pass, though, is too long, and Atangre happy to let it go out at the back. They don't all come off. Lacrabert. Brilliant earlier save there by Schulke. And then at the other end by Atangre. So 10 minutes played in the first half. Lévesque for France. Into the centre now goes Nzeminko. New player in the French team, only one international before coming out to Euro 2014. She's gone in on the line for the moment. There's Lévesque, we see in the picture now. He's also a relative newcomer, 19 internationals, although she did play with the French team at the World Championships last year, where they finished 6th. One place ahead of Germany. Oh, nearly too many steps on my book. Cissé has come in as well, and she has an impact. All the new girls are on. Cissé, 15 internationals. So Porte rotating the bench, bringing on a lot of the new young players. Saying, well, there we go. When you spot a bother, go out and prove yourselves. Well, Cissé's done her job. Verbold. Nadgornaya, who's been impressive in this tournament, the number 21. 16 goals. Good defence. Chances on. And it's inside the area. If she'd stopped short, Verbold would have got away with it. She was just trying to cut the angle, but she ended up keeping running and went into the area. And the Danish referees have given a penalty. We'll look at it again. Well, Nzeminko, but by the time she shot, she was in her way. Nzeminko did very well to cut in. That's a logical thing to do if the defender's going to stand there, because the referee has no choice but to give you the penalty. Well, they missed the first one. Schulke saved it. There's still a small matter of putting it into the back of the net. Pinot. She does. It's her second goal of the game. (6-4). France have steadied things, but are still trailing here in Zagreb. This huge arena that was has good memories for France. It's where their men's team won the World Championships in 2009, beating Croatia in the final there. On an attempt by Löper to surprise the defence, and the goalkeeper goes wide there. One of the specialities, those low shots. Brilliant play, straight down the middle, but again, both defenders standing inside, and it's because they're attacking wider now, the French. They're really pulling the defence out. Lacrabert went wide and opened up the space, and Nzeminko goes straight down the middle, and the defence can't close quick enough without stepping inside the area. Minevskaya not looking too impressed. Pinot. Oh, and another terrible penalty. Straight into the face of the keeper. Schulke will be quite content to do that. Oh, it wasn't. It was the right arm. She would have known about it, I guess, otherwise. So 2 penalty saves for Schulke, and France wasting easy opportunities here, and are once again, as in the match against Sweden, making life very difficult for themselves. Oh, beautifully done, Geschke. Five from 5 for the winger. Well, you don't need another winger when you're playing like that. 7-4. Lévesque, Lacrabert. Good save. Ball comes out. Germany have it. Geschke looks up. Opportunities. Müller. Good save, but defending inside the area by Dembele. And Müller's won the penalty. And again, poor shooting by France. 31% success rate only. She's got a yellow card. We're just past the halfway point in the first half. And they score. Zapf with her second. And the 4-goal lead restored for Germany. Team timeout for France. No surprise there for Alain Porte. His team, just too many unforced errors and not finishing off those easy chances.
Un peu moins ambitieuse, pas de dissuasion, sinon les pivots glissent, on est dans la merde, d'accord? Attendez qu'elle prouve de loin, il n'y a que l'arrière gauche qui peut tirer de loin, il n'y a que sur elle qu'il faut sortir. Bon, là on va continuer algérien, et on peut faire des deux aussi, mais prenez le temps, bougez dedans, bougez, si vous bougez c'est la panique. Et vous êtes en stress, il reste 45 minutes à jouer, pourquoi vous paniquez? On a le temps? Ok? Allez.
Well, Porte saying, why are you so stressed?
Wir sehen, wenn wir stehen eng zusammen und einer nach vorne schicken, dann kommen die immer wieder zu uns, immer wieder zu uns. Sprecht miteinander. Mali, versucht mitzulaufen im Konter, dass wir nicht nur links mitkriegen, okay? Weil die laufen nicht gut zurück, die Räume sind da, okay? Vorne in Angriff, Ball laufen lassen, rein im Ball. Nadja, wenn die defensiv zurückgeht und du auf die halbe kommst oder in die Mitte, nimm einen Wurf da, komm. Bring die da, Lumpy Kerstin, Tempo ist gut. Nadja, wenn die nicht auf 4 kommt, dann einfach Feuer. Jetzt kommt Luisa rein, denk dran.
So play resuming here with France. And that's a penalty. And Alain Porte quite rightly saying, girls, this 47 minutes late, why are you panicking so much? Slow it down and sort out the defence. Well, it's also the attacking that's part of the problem with them. 31% success rate, but this will help. That foul on Lévesque gives a penalty for the French, but they have failed from 2 of them so far, and now it is Paul Baudouin, who scored 5 in the competition from 7, to step up and see if she can do better than Lacravère or Pinot. Luckily for France, she can. And Baudouin heads straight back to the bench. Over 200 internationals for France, Baudouin. 605 goals, kind of experience you need, but for now at least, Porte is using his younger players. Well, the other point he quite rightly made is using playmakers at centre and right back means that they're not going to play or shoot long. Oh, and France. Oh, absolute panic play. It's amazing. France have just hit the self-destruct button as they did against Sweden, having come through effortlessly from the main round. Penalty, is it? Aiglon. And it's given for the foul on Lerpe. And all born out of France stupidly giving the ball away. All they had to do was take it up in 2 hands and look back and move it backwards instead of trying to rush it forwards and get those fast breaks. So excellent start by Germany, and Zapf makes it 3 from 3. German fans hooting their satisfaction as Leno, who's just come in goal, is beaten. Lacravère has to come back to help. Verbold sends Lacravère flying. The German defence, when it's worked, has been very, very good in this competition. Although they have gone through spells when they've been absolutely porous as well. That came off a defender. Schulke stops the corner throw, and another long pass. Who came... Amandine Leno seems to be saying it came off Geschke. It's not been given to her, and she's still telling the referee. As Porte also discusses it with the referee. She needs to put that behind her. She can't change it, the 28-year-old, who's just back from injury. Their other goalkeeper they would have brought otherwise, Cléopâtre Darleux, is also injured. Free throw. Quick play. Is that an attacking foul? It's given as a free throw. Löper says she's diving backwards, and the referee says, tell you what, I'll referee, you play. Verbold looking for the line, too many steps he says anyway, come back and have a free throw. And Luisa Schulz has now gone in on the line, very tall 1.92 m line player from Leipzig. Played at the World Championships in Brazil in 2011 and has been out of the team since then, but Heine Jensen brought her back in. Alain Porte looking on, and he must be looking at stats of 33% success rate on their shooting and wondering what he needs to do on his bench. He's got a mixture of experience and new, and at the moment the newer players are actually being better. And that's defending inside the area, and again the Germans probing and finding the French defence wanting. Hard to believe that the French have the best defence, at least in terms of goals conceded in the competition. Here today, they are looking like a sieve. And Zapp, number 4. Five-goal lead for Germany. And I think Leno's demeanour says it all. Two on the line, but they're both on the sides, trying to open up the middle. That's going to come back for a free throw. Good defending by Nadgornaya, 26-year-old who plays for the champions Thüringen, as Lacrabert sits on the bench for a while. Niabouillou has come in, number 28. And she too puts it straight in the hands of Katja Schulk, who dismissively holds the shot. Nadgornaya staying in the middle, into the wing. And Germany score again, and it's France's poor finishing that is costing them dearly here. Three goals without reply. And France's semi-final hopes unravelling here. Zapp gets a pat on the shoulder from Clara Woltering, the captain. So we passed the 20-minute mark, and Germany, much the better team here, but to some extent, France right now are their own worst enemy. Some of their attacks are such that they may as well go up to one of the German players and hand them the ball. Free throw. Foul on Marie-Paule Niabouillou, plays for Toulon. Number 28, who didn't start the tournament. She was added to the squad list after the first match. Not quite sure why. They only named 15 to do that. And her shot goes wide, and the statistics are now dropping by the minute. Luckily, Leno spares their blushes, and they've got to not rush this now. And again, it's almost as if they've got to score in the last second. And Niabouillou overbounces it. She felt she was being pushed, but they're looking too much to get the referee to help. And that's a penalty. And France in disarray here in Zagreb. Porte did say at the start of the main round, I am quite worried about this team. We've played so well that I'm concerned they're going to go into the main round and think the hard work is done and take their eye off the ball. They did it to some extent against Sweden. They're doing it big time here against Germany. Well, a let off for France as Huber takes over penalty duties and promptly hits the woodwork. So Lacrabert put back on again. She's had a break. It's been off for nearly 12 minutes, Lacrabert. No goals from 3 shots. French fans singing Allez les Bleus. Allez anywhere would be good. That's like it, into the wing. That's better. And at last something for these stalwarts to cheer. Dembele, the scorer. So Huber has replaced Zapf, and she's beaten on the wing. The relief palpable among some of the French team, but they still trail by 5. So Verbold, Löper. 2 on the line. Oh, tried to lob the keeper, it didn't work. That's more like it. Well, Dembele has taken on the single-handed duty of getting France back into this game, it seems. Her 3rd goal. Not a great angle. Verbold cut it this time, stayed outside the area, but it goes past Schulke. And meanwhile, as we watch that, an attacking foul by the Germans give possession back to France. We've had some great games today. Montenegro 31-27 against the Netherlands, although Polman sustaining a bad injury at the end of that game. Do hope that she'll be okay. Oh, brilliant save off what was actually a good one-handed catch by Canto. Verbold gives it to the line, but they'll come back. Free throw's been called. Netherlands will be hoping that Polman can get fit again, and then, as expected, Sweden then beat Slovakia fairly comfortably to go back top of the table on 7 points, but it still doesn't decide the group. Sweden, Montenegro, the Netherlands and France all still in contention for a semi-final place, and this match today will not decide it. It will come down to today's games. Save by Lino inside the area, and Germany keep possession. France, quick substitutions again as Lachabert races off, and Aiglon goes in. Second team timeout for France. And they still trail 4 goals, slowly improving, but nothing to write home about for France.
Kompakt bleiben, schön eng zusammenbleiben, sodass wir die dazu zwingen, von der Weite zu werfen. Jetzt machen wir Aarhus mit, ja, und danach versuch was zu machen, wo wir die Außen mit ins Spiel bringen, weil jetzt kommen die weiter und weiter nach vorne, okay? Ein bisschen mehr Abstand halten, Lumpit, so dass du auf die Seiten von ihr laufen kannst. Mädel, 5 Minuten zur Halbzeit, weiter jetzt.
Ne donnez pas, leur faites pas de cadeaux, d'accord? En attaque, c'est un petit peu mieux. Parce que vous mettez plus de mouvement et que vous jouez en courant. On va faire les changements. Mais jouez en courant, ne vous économisez pas, d'accord? Montez les ballons, montez les ballons. Allez, on y va, allez.
Well, he's saying it's a little bit better in attack, but mostly because you're moving the ball around and running. He's told them that I am going to turn the bench, so please don't try and spare yourselves for the end of the game. I wanted to give everything now. So, of course, the German timeout, you can only do it when you're in possession. And they've got an Aya into the line. She was inside, though, Schultz. So France come away with possession. There's nothing to do there. They'll have to move the ball out. And again, poor passing, and it forces Pino just to stop things and reset the clock. So Nyombla, Pino and Lachabert, they're back to the starting 7, who didn't shine earlier. A chance now maybe to prove it. Inside. Well, the referee wasn't in line with the post, but still gives it to France. In fairness, though, Landré, who scored that goal under a lot of pressure. Another one of the newcomers to the French team in her first major competition. Just 5 international. Schulke can't quite believe it. She thought she'd managed to keep it out. France have managed to keep the Germans out for 5 minutes and scored now 4 goals without reply, eking their way back into the game this time with a nice little 1-2 and Landré finishing it off. Lovely height by Landré, who plays for Le Havre. Used a lot in defence in the competition. And those are her first 2 goals at Euro 2014. So it's helping, but Germany still lead, but they certainly seem to have lost the initiative here. It's a little bit more balanced. Müller, and luckily the second French defender stood back and stayed well out of the way. If she'd even got involved, it would have been a suspension, but Aiglon has been picked up. She was the one the other side. Number 5, there's the shirt pulling, but because she then let go and the player had a free shot, the referees have not given the penalty. Well, Minevskaya saying surely. Scant consolation that Aiglon is off, although it might just dampen the French recovery. 6 goals down at one point, now back to within 2, but short-handed. Well, short-handed, they've made it a 5-0 exchange now. Pinot and France beginning to show their class here. And even Schulke, with 10 saves already so far in the game from 20 shots, can't save that one. Oh, huge space, and that's nicely done. Geschke again, this time served by Steinbach, who's come in. And it breaks a run of 5 goals by France. Gives them a 2-goal lead. She's happy. She should be. That's her 6th goal already. It's as many as she scored in the entire tournament so far. No way through. I wouldn't pick on Müller to try and turn her. She's as solid as a brick house. Hope she doesn't mind me saying that. Pinot, Lacrabert. Tries to go through the legs of the keeper. Nothing, says the referee. And back come Germany, trying to reassert themselves here while they've got the power play. 20 seconds. Oh! Well, Nadgornaya takes the shot. Let's have a look. Has she been fouled in the act of shooting, I wonder? It hits 2, 3 sides. Left, underside, right. The referee says it's not in. But it's been given as a free throw for a push on Nadgornaya. Germany keep possession, but France are back to full strength again. Steinbach. Verbold, no way through. Pinot, she's got to watch herself. Pulling and swinging around from the back. Get herself sent off too. They're pushing up a bit. Steinbach, she's the shooter. Verbold and Lerper are the ones who'll drive through. They've got to sit back and close the door. Gave her too much space. Steinbach scores. So we have 32 seconds remaining in the first half. Germany lead France 13-10. Schulke, 11 saves from 21. And Porte looks deep in thought at the bottom of the picture. Nadgornaya, very much in charge in the defence, urges on her teammates, and the clock hasn't been restarted. Wait for the whistle, says the referee. It's time. It's longer than you think, all this, for France to come through. Free throw only, and the seconds tick away, and Schulke will just put the ball down next to her. They've got to go and fetch it. She's not going to help them. Tried to get it, and there won't be any time to do anything. And there goes the buzzer. And so, in a seesaw first half, Germany dominated initially. France, a recovery with a 5-0 comeback, but Germany have then woken up and reopened the lead late on, and it's 13-10 to Germany in this crucial Group 2 game in Zagreb. We'll take a short break. Join us again for the second half. We'll leave you with the stats. So welcome back to the Arena Zagreb in the Croatian capital. Half-time here in this final match of the day in men round Group 2. Schulke, hero in the first half with 12 saves, a 55% save rate to see Germany 13-10 to the good against a French team who need to win here to keep control of their fate if they want to reach the semi-final. 38% success rate with their shooting has simply not been good enough for France, who've looked very nervy, made a lot of mistakes. Germany shooting better on 59%, and Schulke, number 12 there, who was the nemesis for Croatia in their preliminary round match, is proving to be the same for the French. Fans trying to put a brave face on it. At the other end, Lino, 2 saves from 7 only, coming in for the last 13 minutes. So it's all to play for in what has been a low-scoring and scrappy half at times, but the Germans broadly have edged it, except for a spell when France scored 5 without reply to get back to within 1 from a 6-goal deficit. But since then, Germany have hit them twice. Geschke standing out with 6 from 6 so far for Germany in the first half. For France, well, Pinot and Dembele have 3 goals apiece. Dembele 3 from 3. Host of players, though, are not looking too good. Levesque, none from 3. Nyabuyu, none from 3. Lacrabert, none from 4. Sums up the first half. Even Pinot's 3 came from 6 shots. They have to improve in the second half. So here we go then. Germany throw off the second half here in Zagreb. A 3-goal lead. Interesting that Müller is being given all the playing time for Germany, the line player ahead of Althaus, a veteran of 232 internationals for Germany. You will argue, well, it's working. Germany are leading. They raced into a 4-0 lead. That was a fumble. Took a while to think about it, the Danish referee. In a couple of slow fuse decisions. Pinot at left back, it's Nzeminko, 23-year-old. Complete novice for the French team, or near novice anyway, 1 international before arriving here. At these European Championships, Germany building up slowly. They've got 2 on the line. Nadgornaya trying to go through into the wing. That was a relatively comfortable save. Not a lot of power behind the shot. So let off for France. Minevskaya again and again standing up on the bench and urging on the German team. So Pinot hasn't stayed on long. She's been replaced now. Nzeminko, oh, that shooting, totally unnecessary, especially when you know that Schulke is on such good form. And France have reverted to type, and mercifully for them, Amandine Leno is saving their blushes, but we've got a 2-minute suspension now for Kanto, the line player. Another one with over 200 internationals, and she goes off. So, chance for Germany to reassert themselves here. They've had up to a 6-goal lead in this game. Well, if France lose here, then they'll be relying on Sweden to win tomorrow. That's the only scenario that works for them, and then they'd still have to beat the Dutch. Brilliant. Now, the kind of shooting that we've been missing, in fairness, from Steinbach in the competition. 6 goals only so far, but that was an excellent shot. Pensive Leno walking off as the Germans score the first goal after just over 2 minutes. French short-handed. Lacrabert gets the ball. A bit delayed. She had to check her run, but somehow managed to get enough power behind it. And she gets her first goal of the game off her 5th shot. Looking for the line. French defence covered. Oh! Well, the Germans somehow conspired to bundle the ball across rather conveniently for Baudouin. Lacrabert, an unwise pass, but Verbold becomes the provider, and she gets an assist at the wrong end of the court. Sometimes it's those little odd incidents that can just trigger things. Muller, free, goes over the top, but it's a penalty. Inside the 6 metre, say the referees, and so Zapf loitering now will come up. Huber had a go, failed though. Zapf is 4 from 4 at 7 metres. Off the post, and she gets a rebound though. And the French team slow to cover. The 24-year-old from Metzingen gets the rebound. Pinault stumbling as she tried to go forwards. So a 3-goal lead, but France are now back to full strength again, and Camteau can come in. Line player for the French champions, Metz. Free throw, a shove on Noncia Nyombla as she was trying to take the shot. Schulke 2 more saves in this half from 4 shots. And she saves again. Well, difficult to see from this angle. The referee on the far side says that went over. But off Baudouin. It's interesting. Did he know? Well, he gave it as a goalkeeper throw. So, play resumes at this end. Lacrabert forced to stay in defence now, can't swap with Aiglon. She's having to substitute with a player on the other side now because it's simply too much. Oh, that was lovely play. Feeding the ball into the wing, Geschke makes it 16-12. Delicate little touch to drop the ball into her. 7 for 7 for Geschke, but France have responded courtesy of Lacrabert. They're still in touch, but they are definitely not in charge of this game, the French, and Alain Porte knows it. 5.5 minutes played. Verbold and Lerper still at centre and right back. Baudouin has it. France always trying to push for the fast break, sometimes to their detriment. This time resist the temptation. Pinault, Lacrabert, Nzeminko. She's 23 years of age, the number 27. Looked very settled in this game. She's not had a huge amount of court time. And the more experienced Nyombla comes in, 22 caps for number 29. Well, the Germans have resorted now to 5-0-1 defense, and they're trying to mark the less experienced player, but they've got themselves a 2-minute suspension in the process. So that wasn't so successful. It's Verbold who goes off. I think it's Verbold rather than Geschke, but let's wait and see. Push in the back. And confirmation that it is the playmaker, Verbold. And France able to exploit the extra space on the line, to the relief of the fans, as Nzeminko scores well. France going ambitious from the outset, individual defense, and beaten straight away. So that wasn't so successful. And Germans going, well, if you want to play that game, Muller, I'll go straight up. Three-goal lead, despite the out of play, but Zapf has conceded the throw. That's a nice one. Well, Lacrabert has definitely found her range here now. 3 from 3 in the second half, compared to 0 from 4 in the first. The French persisting with this individual defence. 35 more seconds. Germans beat it the first time when the substitute basically ran off the bench and did it. Müller, too many steps. Ball's launched too far ahead. And it put her under too much pressure to take the shot. Poor passing, a simple pass up the court. Schulke making a 16 save, but in fairness to Pino, it was a near impossible task. She had to retrieve the ball over the area and recover her composure. And the story of the game, really, that reaction from the French. And they're nearly back to full strength. Stolen. Well, the long stride works. If you think you've taken off too early, and she really did get the long strides in, and they're within one. Bit of a shove by Verbold, who's only just come back on for a 2-minute suspension, got underneath her and heaved her. That could have been another one. Schulke rehearsing what she should have done. 10 turnovers now for Germany, and it's the French are putting on the pressure, but still Germany lead. Verbold now shifted to the left-back position. Löper can't get through, and now it's starting to hold well. Camto. French defence, which was porous for most of the first half. But there's one player who can take the long-range shot, and they didn't push up to her. Nagornaya, well, she may well smile. And they've been told about her as well in the team timeouts. Nyombla, Nzeminko, Lacrabert. Free, oh, it's a penalty, defending inside the area. And the 23-year-old newcomer to the French team, having a very good impact, got right over the top of Verbold. But let's not get excited too soon. The French have missed 2 penalties so far in the game. Baudouin, who has scored hers, steps up. Off the post. And just as at the other end with Zapf, Baudouin has some good fortune. It's given us a 3 from 3 on the penalty. I think that's a little excessive. I think that's a missed penalty and a goal on the follow-up. So 10 minutes and more played in the second half, and it's still a 1-goal game. But the French still not able to turn things around. Lacrabert's going to be off, is she? Well, no, I thought for a second there was a collision. And Lacrabert doesn't argue, too experienced to know that. Don't upset the Danes. She and the winger in a little altercation. Lacrabert, who played for Zvezda Zvenigorod in Russia for a while. Blocked by the French defence. That's good play by Nagornaya. She says they were inside the area. She, on the other hand, comes from the school of thought that tell the referees how to do it. And that's going to be an attacking foul. Aiglon sent flying. So Heine Jensen seeing a 6-goal lead reduced to just 1 by France. But still, the game is there for the taking. Baudouin, slight delay on the pass. Oh, that needed a quicker pass. It's gone into the wing. Another good save, Schulke. The break is on for Germany. Oh, brilliant save. Linu, best of the game yet for her. Well, it's a throw-in. Referees say it went out to the side. Verbold. Steinbach's come on for Nadgornaya. Ball's out. And they've levelled it. Dembele. France have finally managed to claw back that disastrous start. And Dembele, 4 from 4. The instigator once more with one of those darting runs. 5 fast breaks. Stolen again. A 2-minute suspension for Schultz, who tried to stop the French player breaking off by hanging on to her. And a good spell by France. Aiglon it is, absolute stalwart in defence. So the 24-year-old from Leipzig takes a seat and has a breather. So 2-minute suspensions apiece, and France now a little bit of space there. If they can just play it wide, they can open up the defence. Well, they tried to cover Lacrabert, who was sitting on the wing, and instead Nzeminko went all the way through for her 3rd goal, and France are now leading. France's first lead in the game. Nzeminko, 3 goals, and they're individually marking. They were, but Verbold got away from Pino as she looked the other way. Germany still short-handed for another minute. And once more, Verbold is being individually marked, and Minevskaya has come on for Germany, number 14. Bit surprised she doesn't play more. She's the top scorer in the German Bundesliga with 81 goals, 38 of them penalties, mind, but still streets ahead of the next best scorer. Plays for Metzingen, the number 14. But getting a first piece of the action here. Here she comes. Baudouin stops her run. She'll come back for a free throw. It runs the clock down, if nothing else. Three meters, say the referees, with passive play being warned. Shots taken, clips the outside post and stays behind the line. Throw in for Lino. So back on comes Nyombla, number 29. And Nzeminko playing in her first major competition for France and impressing the number 27. France, who are playing Lacrabert on the right wing. They're rotating. They've lost both their right wingers, the normal right wingers, Dansette and De Rouen, through injury, and have brought a novice player, Prouvencier, but it's meant that they've actually had to rotate and use some of the right backs instead, as is the case now with Lacrabert. Oh, good play. Goes wide, but she gets a free throw, Verbold. Amandine Leno, 6 saves now, up to 38%. Big improvement on half-time when she was on 29% with just the 2 saves. Ninevskaya looks for the line. Brilliant pass! Schultz. It's all square again. Big line player. So we still have just under 14 minutes remaining in this Group 2 match in the main round. And no rest for these teams, because all the main round group matches need to be finished off tomorrow simultaneously in both groups. So they're all back on court. Lovely. A little bit of spin on it, not a lot of power. It was enough though, and Nzeminko with a 4th puts France back in front, and Germany have rushed it and given away possession, but luckily France have reverted to first half type and given it straight back to the Germans. So this was nice. The follow-up, though, was not so good. 13 minutes remaining. France still insisting on making life difficult for themselves. Minevskaya cuts back inside, dispossessed unfairly. Free throw Germany. Minevskaya, no way through. Sends Kamtojitam flying. Won't bother the line player one little bit. She can take it. Hanne Jensen, though, says, that's right, that's what I want you to do. Just keep trying. I'm trying to give encouragement to the players so that they don't decide, well, if it's not working, I'll stop trying. He's always one to encourage them and say, just keep going. He said he was being interviewed yesterday and was saying, well, it's not been our best championship, that's for sure, but there's still plenty to come, and instead he's still enjoying it. Well, Minevskaya gets her first, and it's all square again. And France hit back at the other end. Baudouin. France, as I said, can lose the match and still go through if Sweden beat Montenegro and they beat the Netherlands. But of course, their fate then out of their hands. If they draw, that's going to be a penalty. There are still combinations that will see them go through. It requires Sweden to beat Montenegro. It could be a draw as well between Sweden and Montenegro, and then France would need to beat the Netherlands for Sweden and France to progress. So Minevskaya steps up to take the penalty. She scored 7 from 9 in the competition. Coolly taken. 21 all. 2 back-to-back goals for Germany coming from Minevskaya. Some fans more excited than others. So we have one semi-finalist already. We know from the other group that Norway are guaranteed to finish top. Way over the top there as well. And the match tomorrow between Denmark and Spain becomes effectively a quarter-final, because the winner of that match... Oh, well, Nat Gornaya showing that anything Lachabert can do, she can do just as well. And Porte is getting more and more angry with his team. Is he? Well, with the referee, in fact. Not happy with the decision because it was given back to the Germans. That's why. A draw in the other group, in Group 1, would see between Denmark and Spain, would see the Danes go through with Norway in that group, but Pinot cutting the pass out, and now a bit of application needed by the French. Free throw. She wants it quick. She's saying, hurry up. Too late. The Germans making 2 substitutions, and Lachabert can't quite believe that her teamers were so slow to react to the opportunity. So whilst Norway are through and Denmark and Spain will battle it out tomorrow, this group will remain wide open for 4 teams, theoretically. Good save by Schulke. And maybe a break to go with it. Oh, what a shame. The follow-up was poor. And we enter the last 10 minutes of the game. So many unforced errors. Lovely height, though, by Nyombla. Just lacking in accuracy. Still France only on 47% success rate with their shooting. constantly probing the German defence, and in the end they bring the wing around to try and give some options. And bundled off, and the Germans on the break. And they're back in front again. It's Geschke. And Linu not looking too happy. She looks to the bench and there's a smirk. Team timeout, France.
Rapprochez-vous les ailières, ressortez un peu pour donner de l'air aux arrières. Et ne rentrez pas dans des croisés, continuez. Voilà. Amenez, mais ça fait rien. Ne tente pas du duel tout le temps. Sors un peu les ballons, ça reviendra. Ok? Soyez disponibles, on va trouver des décalages. Peut-être on va leur mettre le feu en défense dans pas longtemps si on n'y arrive pas. Vous êtes vigilantes, d'accord? Style double strict ou quelque chose, hein? Ok?
He's trying to keep calm about things. There's time to go.
Bleib eng zusammen, Kim und Luisa, richtig gut gelöst gegen die 29 hier. Wir wissen, dass sie zur Hand kommt, zur Hand. Immer wieder eng zusammenbleiben, so dass wir eine nach vorne schicken können. Wenn wir die Bälle gewinnen, ab geht's, Svenja, Anti. Laufen, laufen, laufen. Denkt dran, Katja zu sagen, dass einen kurzen Pass und dann spielt ihr den eventuell davor, okay? Dass wir mitlaufen können, aber immer noch laufen. Die Chancen liegen dort und warten. Vorne, hey, vorne in Angriff. Geduldig bleiben, weit kommen und weiterspielen.
So team timeout over. One thing is for certain, if France lose or draw this match, although they could technically still go through to the semi-final, depending on the Sweden-Montenegro result, they certainly couldn't top the table anymore, and it would mean an encounter with the Norwegians. That was nice though, Lacrabert providing Canto. It's all square again. So for Germany, they need to make a change. Naidzianavicius heads off, defense specialist, and Minevskaya comes on. Naidzianavicius calling her a defense specialist when she scored 11 goals is a tad disingenuous. 7.5 minutes remaining for Germany to pull off a famous win here. They may not have any further call on the semi-final, but they could just become the fly in the ointment for France. Good defense again as Steinbach tries to come through. The Germans have now got recognized back players, although Minevskaya is technically a left back rather than right back. She's right-handed, but rather than the Verbold-Löper connection, they've got two players with big shots coming in. There's Svenja Huber, who plays for Thüringen, the German champions. Tries to go through, passive play, shoots over the top, and surely now a direct shot's going to be needed. So Steinbach looks like she's teeing up for it, unless Minevskaya wants a bit of the action. It's going to be Steinbach. Danish referee wants 3 meters. Well, not a bad effort at all. And France pushing forwards. Lacrabert decides to pull the ball back quite wisely. Experienced player, Lacrabert, 140 internationals, 370 goals, the number 64. As time runs on, they've got to just make these good long attacks and score rather than this rushed panic play that's just been giving possession away to the Germans, especially in the first half. Lacrabert. Quick switch back. And they constantly probe. Oh, came off the feet. And Zeminko, the gap was there as well. And instead the Germans are on the break. Oh, beautifully done. Geschke again, a deft touch. Got the ball, instead of hammering it, just ran it off her fingertips. And the French once more, clumsy play in attack, an unforced error. And instead of scoring what should have been a goal through a comfortable gap, they've conceded one, and now they're chasing once more. They'll have to come back again. German fans looking on anxiously. For them, it's a game about pride. Oh, too many steps, and then she puts it in the roof anyway. And Zeminko. And the Germans playing steadily here, and the French are once more hitting the panic button as we enter the last 5 minutes. Nadgornaya, Minevskaya. And calm down, says the playmaker. And the French go to 5-0-1 defense as Lachabert pushes forward to take out the playmaker. Well, they've done a nice little 1-2, but the ball stolen with this French defense, and Dembele once more, 5 from 5. And Schulke couldn't block that one. Verbal tried to get back to cover the player who was dispossessed. Free throw for Germany, 4 minutes remaining. Sweden-Montenegro, the first of the games up tomorrow in this arena Zagreb. Then it'll be Germany-Slovakia. That will be a match for the wooden spoon, and then final match of the day will be Netherlands-France, which will only still be relevant if the French can't win here, if Sweden have won the opening game. If Montenegro win the opening game, then the group's already decided after the first game. Side netting. Cisse playing on the right wing. Three minutes remaining. France's semi-final fate hangs in the balance here. If they do anything but win here today, they are going to become the biggest Swedish lovers you've ever seen in this European Championship. Into the wing, beautiful, and the pressure's back on France again. 2.5 minutes. Steinbach. Well, France's inability to control the game has been their undoing. The Germans have defended well, but the shot efficiency tells the story here, I'm afraid, as the French really have given themselves so many problems. It'll be a free throw for Lachabert. We go into the last 2 minutes. Lachabert tries to stay cool. The defense has gone back to a 6-0. And again, the self-destruct button is pressed into the side netting. Nothing by the referees, and Germany have got to make this a long attack. Oh, the winger coming around and trying to shoot well. Winger, that said, she is a right back playing in that position. So the French have to push up now. It doesn't matter how much they lose by at the end of the day. If they can salvage a point, in reality it makes little difference, because a draw or a defeat, they still need Sweden to win, and then as long as they win the next match they're okay. But any other result in that opening match and it's all over. Pushing up into the last minute, team timeout Germany, just to add to the pressure for France. Well, what a turnaround here.
On continue la double stricte là, d'accord? OK.
Halten wir weg. Ja, Manndeckung halten wir weg. Dann versuchen wir breit anzufangen, Scheni und Lumpi, okay? Luisa, Sperr absetzen mit Scheni auf die 2. Wenn die alle kommen raus, wenn die alle rauskommen, dann machen Manndeckung jetzt. Dann bewegen, laufen und spielen. Und dann haben wir das Ding rein am Ende. Wenn die alle rauskommen, laufen und spielen, bewegen.
Links oder rechts?
Links, Lumpis halbe rechte, jetzt Scheni halbe linke.
So it's Germany's for the taking.
Elle va dribbler, essayez de piquer le ballon dans le dribble, combat, d'accord? Nina, Alison, elles vont venir vous défier, jouer la demi-position, essayez de piquer le ballon dans le dribble. Il faut absolument monter la balle, il faut absolument la monter. Hein, ok, on prend le risque, d'accord? Peut-être qu'on fera pressing tout de suite après. Allez, on l'accorde.
I guess the only advantage if they get the draw is, I suppose, that if it is a draw in Sweden, Montenegro, it does open up that option. Free throw, and that will run the clock down again, and the Germans will take their time, and the clock has been stopped. 44 seconds remaining, and France will look back and say, well, at the end of the day, we are as guilty of doing this to ourselves as the Germans have, but the Germans have capitalized well, they've defended well. Even when the French took the lead, they didn't panic. They kept pushing in there, they kept driving in, and the French kept making the mistakes, and their 45% shooting rate for France has been their undoing, along with some unforced errors and the traditional moments of panic that were totally unnecessary. Minevskaya, another free throw, and that will run the clock down still more. Clock has been stopped, so they can mop the floor, but Germany will need to take a quick shot. But mindful that Montenegro need to win tomorrow's match against Sweden. The defending European champions are not going to make any gifts to France. And the French, by fluffing their lines here today in Zagreb, have lost control of their own destiny. Saved! Leno needs to get it back in quickly. Straight down the middle, penalty. They stop the clock with 15 seconds remaining. They still have to score it, but it could be a draw. It helps a little bit. So Baudouin to salvage a point for France. She does. Germans try to surprise the French. It's given as a free throw to Germany. The French can't quite believe it. They'll come back. That's an attacking foul, but the buzzer goes. And so France have lost control of their destiny here with a 24-all draw in Zagreb. All credit to the Germans. They opened up with a 4-0 turnaround right from the beginning. The French briefly asserted control late in the first half. It's the only time they were really in control with a 5-0 run. Porte doesn't seem happy, but that's by the by at the end of the day. You've got to play the way the referees are judging it. You can't control them. You can only control the way you play in France. Their finishing let them down. Their little unforced errors let them down, and the Germans capitalized on it and have a 56% finishing rate, much better than the French. And even without Althaus playing in this game, the Germans have taken a very creditable draw against France. Their first point in the main round table. Amandine Leno, the forlorn figure of the goalkeeper. And so the French, who looked so strong coming into the main round, have been beaten by Sweden in the opening day and now held to a draw by Germany. Paul Baudouin has been given the Player of the Match award. I'd have been tempted to say Dembele maybe, in fairness, but I think that's of little consequence to the French right now, who know that they've given themselves a bit of a headache and they are desperately going to hope that Sweden can win tomorrow in the opening game of the day. Otherwise, it's curtains for them. Well, for Germany, there's only one candidate. Katja Schulke, 19 saves. She was France's undoing as well. Some of the shooting made it comfortable for her, but some genuinely fine saves amongst those. A 44% save rate. And it included 2 penalties as well. It was for the honour, and Germany certainly have done it. Well, it'll be a sleepless night for the French, and they've got to be back here again tomorrow to play the next round of matches. No rest day for these teams to decide who will head off to Budapest for the semi-finals. And a nice hug there between Baudouin and Müller. French thank their supporters, but I'm afraid they may be a bit disappointed with their team, who were lacklustre today. The Germans, on the other hand, took their chances when they could, put the French under pressure, and the French cracked. So, morale needs to be fixed and raised, and the hopes of France are now pinned on Sweden. Sweden then top of the table, looking in a good position there. Montenegro right behind them. Netherlands and France 5 apiece, and Germany now have that 1 point. Slovakia on the bottom. Well, that's it then. Tomorrow it will be Clayton Lucas who will take you through the matches here in Group 2. I will be with Group 1 over in Debrecen. So here are the statistics which will confirm that although the attacks were matched, if you look at the field throws at the bottom, the Germans so much better than the French in the end. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's matches. It has been hugely entertaining, and the group is still wide open. We'll be back tomorrow. Hope you can join us then, but in the meantime, thanks very much for watching. We'll leave you with the stats. But for now, from me, Paul Bray, and all the team at EHF TV, a very good night to you.